If words don't match actions, there's a natural interpretative conflict in the person receiving them. In this video, Judy and I discuss the importance of realizing what you say and following through with it. Roll the film.
There is another point which cannot be denied, and that's a person who says something without actually meaning it, and there is no fruit from it. Mm-hmm. For example, in a case in point that we saw recently, a person wanted a relationship to work, and so therefore he gave the pretense of saying, I've seen the error of my ways, I want to become a Christian. And he went so far as to go and get baptized and all the rest of it. But there was no fruit.
Nothing changed in his life. He still did the same abusive things that he did before he became a Christian. So she had to conclude that it was all an act just to get back into her graces.
Now, people do it in all sorts of different ways. It could be somebody pretending to become a Christian and not really doing it, just because they want a certain result. To me, it seems a very foolish thing, because sooner or later, the mask has got to come off.
Well, yeah, when the reality of life hits, the reality will show. But now, I remember when I was a young man, there was a friend of mine, and we've all seen people like this. A friend of mine who he would do the most awful things to you, and then he'd come back the next day, just charm itself, and you just kind of look at him, be charmed a bit, but then you'd go, wait a minute, that doesn't erase all the horrible things you've done to me. But in his mind, it did.
They may get away with the charm a little while.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, it's like playing a movie over and over again, but with one subtle change in it. Mm-hmm. And you play that over and over again, and you become aware of that little change. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes really noticeable. Mm-hmm. The person doesn't think they've changed, but your awareness of what they're doing has really clarified.
Yeah, that's right.
And when that happens, the lie is exposed for what it is, and it doesn't matter how charming a person is or how charming they think they are.
You've reached the point of no return again. Talk is cheap, but words are not. Talk is cheap. I can talk a good game, but the words I use are not cheap. And if my actions do not line up with my words,
sooner or later, they will come home to roost.
A point of no return.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've all had an experience with a so-called charmer who thinks that everything can be erased just with a smile. We know it doesn't quite work that way. Next week, Judy and I will be talking about chronic behavior that will have consequences if it's not repented of and dealt with. An important subject to not miss. God bless and see you next week.